Hey everyone, this is Christian, and this is the first entry in the new Q&A series that I'll be starting on my YouTube channel. To those who don't know me, I'm a videographer and I usually shoot highlight reels of different events and conventions throughout the year. During my travels, whether it's with the people that I meet or comments in the videos that I post, I get questions about production, whether it be the kind of gear I use, software I edit with, or where I even get my music. I really like answering these questions, and that's what this whole series is about, is giving my friends and new strangers out there a chance to ask me questions. I always think it's really exciting when someone tells me or expresses that have an interest in getting into this whole world of video. I think it's awesome. I really encourage it, so that's what this whole series is about. To get things started, I'll be providing the first couple topics for these videos. But after a few, I hope you'll start asking me questions using the hashtag PBQA, PixelBrave question answer. And I can answer any questions you might have about production, whether it be gear, software, or let's even talk entertainment. Let's talk about movies that are coming out, my thoughts on film school. Anything that you think I might be able to answer for you, I'll be happy to try. And if I don't have the answer, I'll show you where you can get that answer. And to be clear, everything I'm saying is just my opinions, my preferences from my own experiences. I encourage you to look at different sources, and I'll definitely be sharing my own favorite resources regarding the filmmaking as well. So any question you have, look for multiple answers. That's the best thing to do. That said, let's get started. To kick things off, let's talk about gear. Usually the first question I get, whether it's in person or in the comments of my video, is what camera I'm using. And it's a very simple answer. I use the Canon T2i. I've had this camera for about 6 years now, got it back in 2011. Back then and even now, this camera has basically anything I need for a video. It shoots HD quality video, it takes good photos, it's small, compact, I can change out the lenses to fit my different scenarios. So as much as I love this camera, I don't usually recommend it to people that are looking to get into video because I know they want to do either a vlog style or they want to have the accessibility of looking at themselves on a swivel screen. This, in case you haven't noticed, does not have a swivel screen. This is a good camera if you just need anything to get in, but if possible, get something with a swivel screen. Let me tell you about some more pros and cons about this camera that I use. It shoots 1080p video at 24 frames per second. It offers 60 frames per second for slow motion video. The drawback on that though is that it's a 720p image, which in editing I would need to expand to fit the 1080 frame. Another pro that I really take advantage of in this camera is the option to put picture profiles on there. Most cameras come with different picture settings that change the contrast, brightness, saturation, and different other settings in the camera to give you a particular image. Canon gives you 3 slots for personal, custom picture profiles. So I've uploaded here one that's free and available to download, and it's called Technicolor CineStyle, and it helps me a lot to get this particular look that brings out more detail in my image. So a lot of people don't even realize that I'm using the T2i because they see the image I'm getting and they say that's not typically what the standard picture profile on a camera is, so what camera is that? And so I have to tell them it's T2i, but it has a picture profile of the Technicolor CineStyle. Having that picture style on this camera gives me a lot of options in editing too when I'm stylizing my videos, whether it's with the coloring, the contrast, temperatures, things like that. I just have way more variety and leeway to change things around without going overboard. So that's a great advantage for me. So to go over a few cons, I mentioned before, but I'll say it again, that this camera does not have a swivel screen. So if I face it for myself, if I'm doing a vlog or a talking head video, I don't have the option to see what I'm actually looking at unless I attach with a wire another monitor externally. So it's just another step that is a solution, but it's less convenient than having a swivel screen such as the one I'm shooting on right now, the T3i, which was the successor to this. It's a lot convenient when it's just already attached and it swivels, and you can get different angles to look at your image. Whereas this one, it's just having it right in front of me. So if I'm at an event and they just shoot particularly high or particularly low, then it's not as easy to see what kind of image I'm getting unless I get myself up high and down below. So that is one con. Another one is, as I mentioned before, the ISO settings, which basically is, to reiterate, the camera's sensitivity to light. To kind of illustrate this point, I'm going to change some settings on this. What you're looking at right now, I have my setting at 800. Let me step that down one below. So you'll notice that the image got a little bit darker. That's because I went from ISO 800 to 400. That's just the next step down on these particular cameras. There are other cameras out there that have more options in between. So yeah, the T3i and this T2i, as well as some others in the Canon family, do have fewer ISO options. So for someone like me who really wants to control exactly the kind of light you're getting, you have to come up with other solutions. So if I were to set up at 800, which I'll go ahead and bring it back to you right now. If I did decide that I wanted the image to be darker, I would need to come up with another solution other than coming down to 400, such as putting something over my lights, bringing the dimmers down a bit, whereas in other cameras you would just have the option to just change the ISO down to something in between 800 and 400. So that's just one con on this camera, but if you're creative and take the time to think about it, you can find other solutions for problems such as this. One last con that I want to tell you about this camera is that it only shoots at 12-minute intervals. So that means if I wanted to shoot a podcast or something that's a really long take, I would need to keep pressing the record button every 12 minutes, which I know turns a lot of people off, especially if they want to do something longer form like streaming or really long videos, time lapses. So do your research out there. This isn't too much of a problem for me because for event videos, I shoot really quick bursts, only a few seconds at a time. So I don't usually shoot for 12 minutes anyways. But for those out there that want to use cameras for podcasts, do your research. There are definitely cameras out there that will shoot longer, 30 minutes, 45. Some cameras out there will even shoot until you fill up the card. So do your research, and just wanted to let you know about that little asterisk about this particular camera. So there it is, a quick look at my camera. If you have any more questions about it, feel free to ask me. Remember, using the hashtag PBQA, I'll be happy to either DM you, respond back, or even do another video about this camera, giving more details about the pros, cons, and anything else you might want to know about it. One thing I really want to leave you with before I go is to do your research. I didn't do any research when getting my camera, so I really lucked out that I found one that I could be happy with for all these years. I definitely do want to upgrade, and I'll talk about those options in the future. But for now, I just want to tell you that do your research. If I had known a bit more about my camera before getting it, I would have known that I could get it with just the body, save some money, and get a lens that I really want. Instead, I just jumped for the most affordable thing I could at the time, and it was bundled with 2 lenses that really brought up the price. But now, being more informed, anybody asks me that they want to get a camera, I tell them, look for a body and also look for the lens you want and buy them separately. That's my recommendation. If you particularly just want to get into just light hobby photography and video, then the lens that comes with it is just fine for your purposes. But for me, I definitely knew I wanted to do more options with my videos, so I really would have benefited from the knowledge back then that I had the option to get just the body by itself and a lens that fit my needs by itself too. So thanks for joining me on this first episode of the PixelBrave question and answer sessions. The name might change, the set is definitely changing, and look forward to more of these in the future. Use the hashtag PBQA for PixelBrave question and answer for any questions you might have. I'll either address those in a video, a DM straight to you, or even just reply to you in the comments. I really encourage discussion and debate, sharing opinions, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say or ask about filmmaking and production. So thanks again, this is Christian, and I'll see you guys next time.